Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Seth. And thank you, Printique and Adorama, for having me here. I'm so excited to share with you guys my passion, which is light painting. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm a photographer, and I've been a photographer for over 25 years. I know, it ages me. Oh, let me put it up. Better?
Yeah.
All right, good. So I've been a photographer for over 25 years, and it has been a blast. What I've learned is it's wonderful to capture moments and places and people, but my true passion has come about by doing light painting. And the reason for that is the night is your blank canvas, and you are untethered by the limitations of daylight. You can transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. You can create your own reality out of the darkness. And you can even draw with light. So you can also illuminate what you choose, create art that's beyond your imagination, and become the master of light. So that is what I hope to inspire you all today to do. Because we're going to go from capturing light to creating it. And I feel like that's where the true magic is. Everyone is out there in the world capturing the light as it is. And that's really what it's like when you're shooting pictures during the daytime. But at night, or even in a studio, you can create light. And that light doesn't even really exist except for in your camera lens. And that's what I'm really excited to share with you guys today. Because I want you to truly feel like an artist. So we're going to create unique images using long exposures and light painting. And after my presentation, I'm even going to do a live demo. We have our model, Justin, here in the back, who's geared up and ready to be light painted. And I'm going to show you guys live techniques of light painting. So for those of you who don't know what light painting is, it is a photography technique where you use a light source to shine light on your subject or to draw with light in your scene while doing a long exposure. I'm going to go through the ABCs of light painting, and if you guys would like, you can scan this QR code and get the ABC guide and references. It's like a cheat sheet to what I'm going to show you guys today. So this is the most important slide. Also, if you want to join me on a photography adventure, which is what I do when I'm not doing presentations here with Seth, you can find me on my website at Photour Adventures. So we're going to start with the ABCs of light painting. And the first one is A for ambient light. And ambient light is the existing light in your scene. So first you need to decide if you want to expose for the ambient light. So here's an example of that. So the picture to the left is exposing for the ambient. I'm in my parents' backyard, and you can see the neighbors' houses, which is kind of strange. And the picture to the right, I'm still at my parents' backyard, upstate New York, and I underexpose the picture and I expose for the light painting. That's really important. First, you need to decide, is the background elements or the ambient important to your scene, or do you want it to just be about your light painting? When you control the ambient, you're really thinking about it as the background. So if you want it to be brighter, you can look at the exposure triangle here. If you want it to be brighter, you can do a longer exposure, open up your aperture, use a higher ISO, or if you want it to be darker, shorten your exposure, close down your aperture, or do a lower ISO. This is probably the most technical questions I get asked, and I just want to make sure it's clear. Any questions so far? Yeah, great. So here's another example where I expose for the ambient, meaning the stars, and the other one is when I expose for the light painting. So this is actually an interesting picture photographed by using a drone to light paint this rock. So I actually had the drone up really high and was able to illuminate the rock and balance the light, which I'm going to get into next. But if I wanted to create that centrifugal circle in my picture by using the drone to be my light painting mechanism, it was actually too bright because it was like blowing out the whole picture. So I had to darken the whole scene. We're going to dive into that with B for balance. So in the picture to the left is an ambient shot with the moonlight lighting up this cool car. So the first thing I did was I exposed for the ambient light, and then I added my own colors on top of it. And one tip is to make it a little bit darker because you want it to look like still it's a little bit dark so you can add your light on top of it. If you expose properly, it might look like daylight already, and it's better to have a darker surface to start with. So for those of you who venture out of Manhattan and you want to go photograph the stars and do some light painting, these are some tips. You're going to start off with exposing for the stars, and you're going to use a light power that is super low. Because think about it. When you expose for the stars, your camera is super sensitive to light because it's trying to get those starlight that's very far away and very dim. So you're typically shooting with an ISO of 3200, and you're shooting at 2.8, and you're shooting for 30 seconds, maybe 10, maybe 20. So when you have a camera that's so sensitive to light, if you bring on a super strong flashlight, it will overexpose the scene. So then you need a low power light, which could be 50 or 100 lumens. Some flashlights say what kind of lumens they are, others don't, but that's kind of the type of power. Now in the city, it's actually the opposite. Here in Manhattan, I want to see all of you guys going out and light painting. You're going to expose for the city light. And then you're going to slightly underexpose. It's what I was saying before. Because you don't want it to look like daylight, which you can do. You want it to be slightly underexposed. And then you're going to need a high power flashlight, like 1600, 1800, even 2800 lumen, because it's trying to compete with your settings that you already have. Because think about it. Actually, I'll get into the next slide what the city exposure should be. But you're probably going to start off at 100 ISO, maybe f8 because the city can be bright. And then you're going to end up doing like a high-powered flash to compete with that. In the studio, which is what we're doing here, we want to create a dark room. We're going to underexpose the scene. Our base ISO will be 100. We could start off by shooting at 10 seconds, but maybe we'll need 2 seconds, maybe we'll need 30 seconds. It really depends on your creation. And then you're going to dial in your aperture to get complete darkness. So it's basically the hardest thing we're going to do. Here's kind of a cheat sheet to all 3 of those. And then we're going to talk about balancing your light source. So when you want a brighter subject and you have a flashlight, you're going to move the light tool closer to your subject, or leave it on longer, or power it up. In terms of your camera settings, you can open up your aperture. You can use a higher ISO. And if you wanted a darker subject, let's say my light tool is too bright, I can move it farther away from my subject. I can keep it on for shorter. I could power it down, or I could close down the aperture or lower the ISO. So guys, that was the most technical thing we're going to talk about today. Does that make sense? Good. Let's get into some fun stuff. We're going to keep on with the ABCs. We got a seat right over here on the front row, my friend. We've been waiting for you. C is for color. So since we're introducing color and light, why not, we're actually introducing light, why not make it colorful? And I think that's where the fun and the magic is. I have this circle here with the colors of light. If you're going to look at that, you're going to use blue and orange are across from each other, the color wheel. That's going to give you the most dynamic light and dynamic colors. So I always like to play those colors against each other, warm and cool tones. Like this picture I have featured here is the car in Death Valley, and it's a blue hour shot. By adding a warm tone, it really makes the car pop. I could have used a white light. That would have been fine, but making it a warmer tone really makes it pop. Also, when it comes to color, you can make your subject stand out. You can create a narrative and use it for storytelling, or you can even evoke a feeling. So when we look at this picture here, we see the red witch, the green witch, and the blue witch. You know, just by making one witch red, you can guess which one is the evil witch, right? It's always the red. I don't know why. Red's the evil color. It just is. Also, you can just paint a scene with natural light like this, or you can make it more vibrant. So just by changing the color, you can change the story that you're trying to tell. Again, this is one of my favorite new shots. I was just in a ghost town, and they have a time machine. So this is a time machine from the movie, I guess, The Time Machine. And I thought, oh, okay, let's create like a really timeless picture. So we had our model stand in. She was a little cyberpunk from the future. We had her stand there. And then in this one, I said, let's make it look like you're actually traveling through time. Same location, same scene, just different colors and different light patterns are able to tell different stories. Question?
The white bands, did you add that, or was that part of the exhibit?
The question is the white bands. Are you talking about these swirls on the bottom?
Yeah, in the back too, behind.
Yep, so that is a light whip. So I'm going to show you guys how I use that. So it's basically a fiber optic whip, and you can make it a bunch of different colors. And yes, I added that. Everything you'll see in these pictures are done in camera with the exception of star trails. So it's only when I included star trails that I had done a picture and I put a composite. Everything else is done all in one frame. When we think about D's for direction, let's talk about the direction of angle of light. All the pictures you see, I'm putting the light off to the side because if you shoot right from behind the camera, it's boring and flat light. So you want to create textures and patterns. Like this cowboy here. He's looking into the light and, it tells a story. He could be the good guy or the sheriff, because he's got broad lighting on his face. By putting the light off to the side, now we're shooting into the shadow side of his face, and now he looks like he could be the villain. It's a little bit out of focus. I think the Wi-Fi is not seeing it well, but something is happening. But it is a sharp picture. So we're looking into the shadow side of his face that it kind of looks like the villain. See the next pictures. Yeah, the next pictures are working. So another thing is this is an example of me putting a video light and moving it around the subject, which is a truck. And just by studying the way the light shapes the truck tells a different story. So I recommend partnering with a friend, having them walk around your subject and seeing which angle of light casts the most interesting shadow. So this is the broad light, this is the front lights, and this is from the back. And you can see how much shadow and texture we're getting here. And this is from the back of the truck. When it comes to exposure, you're going to put your camera on manual mode. Or you could put it in bulb mode. I like to shoot in manual mode because I like to have that control. And the ISO, aperture, and shutter speed are all going to be dependent on your environment. So remember how we went back and we're talking about if we want to expose for the ambient? So that's going to dictate some of our settings. And again, these are some basic starting points if you're shooting in the city. 100 ISO, f8, 10 seconds, under the moonlight. Really depends on what size the moon is. But 640 at 5.6 and 20 seconds. And again, under the stars, 3200, 2.8 and 30 seconds. And then you're going to adjust based on your environment. These are just kind of starting points to get you started. So F is for focus, and that is important because we're going to be in the dark and it's kind of hard to focus. So I recommend setting your camera up on the tripod because we need a tripod, using a flashlight to illuminate your subject, use autofocus so it finds the focus on your subject, but then putting it in manual focus. Because then it's locking in the focus. If you keep it in autofocus, as soon as you turn off the flashlight, it's going to hunt for focus. And then if you have a model, mark the ground so they know where to return to, and you don't need to do as much refocusing. In terms of gear, today I'm using the OM system. It's an amazing camera that has a live comp feature, which allows me to show you guys light painting in real time. I'm using a wide angle lens, just so I can show you guys a little bit more of the environment. Also, I like to do big light paintings. We are kind of limited in our space today, but when I'm out in the environment, I like to get really large and light paint the whole scene. I'm using Benro tripods. I love the cyan bird. We have it to demo out in the front. A remote trigger is really important so you can trigger your camera and not be right behind it, and also avoid camera shake. A flash, because we're going to illuminate our model. Nan light tubes are great for illuminating the backgrounds. Flashlights are really important. I can talk all day about flashlights, but I have a couple that I really recommend on my gear guide that you can email me about, and also the Nan light T8 tube, which I'm going to show you guys. These are the 3 flashlights I really like: an RGB Critter, which turns like 47 different colors, the Olight Warrior, and this lightpaintingbrushes.com, paradise.com. So we're rounding out the alphabet. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but a couple things on how to find a good location is scout your location during the day, look for good composition, watch for light interference. And light interference could be a street light that turns on right where you wanted to do your light painting and now it ruins the scene because there's a bright light on, or traffic could be coming by and illuminating your scene. So just look for these things, kind of anticipate it. It's not always easy to see during the daytime. Look for any trip hazards on the ground. And lastly, beware of all safety. I recommend going out with a friend and having them kind of watch your back and watch your gear. And it's also way more fun. When you're scouting for a location that's not in a city, I recommend using the app called PhotoPills. Because with PhotoPills, you can see where the North Star will be, where the moon will be rising, where the sun is setting, and you can use interesting night elements for your composition. So here, I use PhotoPills. And PhotoPills has this little center star. This is saying that this is the North Star. And I knew based on this lineup that this is where the North Star would be. So if I wanted to do star trails, I could get centripetal star trails. So I came during the day, I saw the composition, I took my little screenshot so I know to remember to come back and get that angle. And then I came back at night and the moon was out. It was like a full moon, which I could have just been like, that's cool. It's good, well lit. I thought it was interesting enough, but I said, how can I add my unique touch? Now, this is where we start to get creative, guys, because I want you guys to put the you in your unique pictures. And by you, I mean, add your own color, add your own light. So because it's so light, the really only dark element of this picture is inside the garage. So this is a time lapse. I used the RGB Critter flashlight. I lit up the car, and then I lit up the inside of the barn, or the garage, actually. And this is what it looked like. So I was like, hey, that's interesting. You know, that's a unique shot. And then I left the camera in the same exact space for 45 minutes, and I came back, and I put the pictures together in a software called Star Stacks, and I created this picture. So this is one of the few composites that I have with the star trail and the light painting. Could I have done it all in one picture? Sure, but I like to do a variety of different light paintings, so then I just add the sky as a composite. So someone once asked me, how did I get into light painting? And the way I got into light painting is because I was taking pictures like this. And I don't know why it's not focusing. I'm going to try. Oh, there we go. It took a second. The reason why is because I was taking pictures like this. I love the night sky. I love the Milky Way core. I love watching the way the stars are moving. And this is kind of what all the pictures look like, silhouettes. And after a while, it kind of got boring to me. And I thought, what could I do to make this interesting? And a car came by and lit up Balance Rock here. And at first, I was annoyed. I was like, what the heck? This car just ruined my shot. But then I kind of liked it. And I thought, okay, what if I lit up this tree? So now I'm like a part of the picture. I went from just being a bystander to what was happening to now being a part of the picture and now lighting up my scene. And I went from using a headlamp to using a drone. So now I'm like a light god, putting the drone in the sky, lighting up things where I want the sun to be lighting things up during the day. And I'm able to capture amazing images like this. And this is a drone doing a circle around this rock. So some of you guys are saying, I don't have a drone, Susan. I don't have these fancy flashlights, but I'm sure you have a speed light or a flash like this. And you can create images just with this speed light. So I'm going to show you guys how I do that, but I have it right here. I'm going to use a speed light, and it's not even that fancy of a light tool, but I put it on manual, and then I put it at 1/8 of a power. You could start wherever you want, and I just flash it back towards the camera. I would actually lower the power to the lowest power because you don't want it just to be blown out. And I wrote the word create here. So, I mean, this is just a simple speed light, and I'm creating interesting pieces of art with it. Again, here, I'm having a model stand in one place, and during the course of 10 seconds, she moved to 3 different locations, and I just strobed her with the flash 3 different times, and was able to create an image like this. Again here, now I have a dancer. This is one of my workshops, it's Joan and Pinnacles. I took the speed light, had her move to 4 different positions, all in the same frame, and flash her at 4 different movements. And it's really fun. I mean, guys, this is as basic as it gets. I'm sure you guys can pick one of these up here at Adorama if you don't have one. Now we're transitioning into the fun part, which is light painting tools. So before we were talking about light painting, but actually now we're talking about light drawing. So now we're actually going to be using lights to draw in our frame. So I want you guys to all feel empowered to go home and do this tonight. I'm sure you guys have some parchment paper, empty soda bottles, some sparklers, holiday lights. They're easy to find nowadays, glow sticks. And 2 things that you might not have is a T8 tube. So a T8 tube is one of these I have here. You can get them at the hardware store, and it's actually called a T8 guard. It's to protect these halogen lights that they have in the Home Depot. So they're hollow, they bend, you know, and this one has a piece of parchment paper in it, so it's more opaque. They're normally clear. You can put sort of gels in them. They're $4. So I want to empower you guys to go to your Home Depots and Lowe's, pick up one of these because you have an instant lightsaber. I'll show you guys how cool this is. So look at that. So $4, easy investment, and it's super cheap and easy to go. The other thing I want to talk to you guys about is your phone. Sorry, we're raving. Another thing I want to talk to you guys about is your phone. You guys all have a phone. You can do amazing things with this. You have the flashlight feature. We all have a flashlight feature. This is incredible. I use it all the time to light paint, and it's always in your pocket. So as long as you have your camera and your tripod, you can light paint and it's dark enough. Or you can put a certain pattern on your screen. I'll pick out this one. But I could even Google like colors, and then you can do a little pattern with this. So I'll show you guys what that means. So see this picture down here? This was taken by me just Googling rainbow pattern, and putting it on my LCD screen and moving through the frame with it. So you guys all have the tools you need in your pocket already. If you want to make an investment, these are the ones I've invested in. You'll see them tonight. Lightpaintingbrushes.com has a beginner's kit, starter's kit. It's so cool. It comes with a fiber optic brush that you'll see, and a lightsaber, and a flashlight. If you want fancier tubes with gels already in them, lightpaintingstore.com. And you guys are all going to see the hula hoop, which is everyone's favorite tool. Everyone asked me at the end of my presentation, not when can I sign up for your next class, it's when can I buy the hula hoop. So it's amazing, but you guys are all going to love that one. It's my favorite light painting tool. So here's an example of just using your flashlight. This is the flashlight on the phone. This is using the LCD, and this is just using the flashlight again. So just to show you guys, it's pretty simple stuff. This is putting a flashlight in a piece of parchment paper that's rolled up. This is a soda bottle. And this is just a flashlight, and I'm using it as light graffiti. So what I like to do is I like to find a famous New York City scene, and there's so many of them, and add my own unique touch. So to do this picture, I took my flashlight, I put it right up against the wall, almost like chalk. A little bit of light was peeking out. I set my exposure up for 30 seconds, and I wrote like chalk, making sure I wasn't blocking the view of the camera, I Heart New York City. And then I had another friend with another flashlight doing zigzags all around the ground. And people thought we had lost something. A lot of people came up to us afterwards like, what are you looking for? We're like, no, we're just, weirdos. We're light painters. We're just having fun in the dark. But it's kind of a fun thing to try out. And you don't get arrested for it because it's not permanent graffiti. It's only light graffiti. So I'm going to take you through one more setup of how we do it from start to finish. Remember the ABCs? A is for ambient, exposing for the stars. B is for balancing the light. So here I'm using a video light. I'm sticking it inside this church. I'm using a technique called low-level lighting, which allows you to put a light source inside a location. I normally have them on a little stand, and they illuminate my background. I put them at like 1 to 10% brightness, and they're on the whole time. So it's cool because I can do a lot of other things with my light painting. So if you notice a lot of my pictures, the lights, I set them up, and they're lighting up the background, and then I do all the light tubes and fun things for my models and such. So this is on inside the church, pointing up. If you think about C for color, I made it red because I had a blue sky, and I thought that was pretty cool. But I thought if I have a church, I need a subject. So I had to add a couple. So I had my couple stand in here. I grabbed the tube, and this was just a test shot. You could even see my feet are here because I never moved out of the frame. So a thing about light painting is you don't want to stand in the same spot. You want to wear black, and you want to move through your frame. I also had a piece of green tape at the end of my tube, and that's why I had a green on it. So that was the test shot, and this became the real shot. I ended up putting a blue light inside the church. I ended up using a red tube with a napkin at the end of it to give that thickness. And then remember how I wrote create with the speed light? I just used the speed light, and I did this kind of popping effect. So if anyone is sensitive to strobing, I'm going to warn you. I just hit this red button, and I just went pop, 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 pop. And I had it powered down to its lowest power. On this one, it's 1/128th. And I created that effect, the fairy light effect. It was really cool, really simple. This is for a workshop I was leading in a ghost town. And here's an example of what it looks like to light paint. You guys are going to see this live in just a couple minutes. I'm using 2 tubes, and I switched them in my hands. And this is a Badwater Basin. It filled up with water a couple of years ago in Death Valley. It was such a unique scene, and I was able to create this. So pretty cool, right? Here's another example during Burning Man I want to show you guys. So first I'm going to pop the light on my subject. So this is the lights on the model. Then I went and got the light tube. It's a little bit slow because of the internet, but I think I might just stop after this and show you guys the live demo for real. So let's see. Yeah, that was the final product. So last thing is just to remember what to do for a cityscape. We're going to expose for the ambient. We're going to add some light, which tests out our lights, and then we're going to add our model. So because I'd like to jump into the demo, who's ready for that? Let's do it. Any questions so far on the basics? Because that just kind of gave you the framework of what you needed to know, of what I'm going to do. Because then once the light turns out, you're like, what is Susan doing? Now I'm going to get into the fun stuff. So we're going to go to my live feed. close this out. Close this out. Perfect. So here we go. And live. Great. So here we have this beautiful setup. I'm going to move this backpack. Sorry, Justin. I'm just going to move it over here. Actually, I think we're ready for you, Justin. I'm going to introduce you guys to the tube first, one of these tubes. I'm going to show you guys a couple shapes. Let's do this purple one. So I'm going to have you stand right on that dot. But just to show you guys a couple shapes that I'm going to do, this is that $4 tube you could get at the hardware store. The technique is to turn your body sideways because you want to hide behind your subject. Stick your arm out straight and then give the thumbs down sign. So you're going to grab this. And I buy a lot of flashlights that have this pen clip, but you can always tape your flashlight to the end of your tube. You're going to hold it down like this, give the thumbs down sign, and then you're going to spin it like this. So think of it as a bike wheel, and you want to keep your wrist exactly how it is. When you get to here, you're going to say, hey, Susan, my wrist doesn't turn anymore, and then you're just going to let go. So the idea is to keep your hand, like let's say a coin is on the ground, right over that coin, and then keep it steady. That is how you do a circle. It is simple, but it's easy to make it look bad. It takes a little bit of practice. Some people will just do this big thing, and that's fine too. But if you want it to be a perfect circle, you keep your hand and you turn your body so you're hiding. One other technique, I like to call it the windshield wiper. You guys all know how to do the windshield wiper like this. I like to do it from the side. So there's not a ton of room to do it from the side, but I will try and do the windshield wiper around my buddy over here. And then the last one, it's called a vacuum cleaner. It's when you vacuum clean around your subject, and it's to add dimensions. I know I came up with these names. It's to add visual representation to what's going on, but I'll show you guys them in real time, and it'll make a little bit more sense. Who's got the question?
Someone's asking, is there a target shutter speed to aim for?
Well, it's all about what you want to create for. So sometimes if you look at Eric Perret, he's a famous light painter, his exposures are 2 seconds because he's just going like this, boop, 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 done. But I actually like to do a lot of more intricate things. I'm flashing my models, I'm flashing behind the model, I'm going around them. In that case, I need like 10 seconds. Sometimes I'll go to 20 if I'm running out of time. So it really depends on how long you want to create for. So first things first, let's talk you through the basics. We're going to put our model into the scene. Thank you, Justin. Great. First, I'm going to just talk through it. So I'm going to make sure he's focused. So I did a little focus. His eyes look perfectly focused. Great. Then we got our focus. I put it in manual focus. And now we're going to turn the lights off. Thank you. So first you focus. I also put a piece of tape. So you see that dot? That's going to be where you're going to kind of stand. Perfect. And this isn't the perfect environment because it's dark. It's not dark, totally dark, but I have a cheat sheet. My cheat sheet is I have this amazing camera called the OM system. It has a feature called Live Comp that allows me to take a 0.5 second exposure, but then use it, and then the camera's open in a bulb mode, and the only thing being exposed is new light. So watch this. So my first shutter was at 0.5 seconds. But now when I do it again, nothing else is exposing until I add new light. So it allows me to do a longer exposure. So first things first is we're gonna have you pose, look at the camera, maybe cross your arms, look like a tough guy. Actually, put your arms out like this, yeah, perfect. So I'm just gonna do a circle, make sure that the tube is pointing towards him.
There's a request in the chat to hear lightsaber noises as you do this.
I need someone to help me with that. So that is a simple circle. Silhouetted, perfect, right? Not the most perfect circle I've ever done, but you got it. And who can do the saber sounds? It's not me. That's going to be all you, Seth. So we did the circle, and if you want to look at the playback, I can flip back and forth. Pretty simple, guys. You know, I also have this tube, and I put a piece of white napkin at the end of it, so it creates that look. So now we're going to go on to doing something more advanced. Let's add some light. We want our model to have a face. We're going to use, let's go back to this. We're going to try a speed light. So for this one, because we're in such a small space, I'm using a mag-mod grid so the light doesn't go everywhere. That means it's going to be a narrow beam of light. It's probably only going to light up his head and his chest. I'm okay with that. It's because if I used it without it, it would light up the back of the wall and then the light painting wouldn't be as interesting. So I also have my remote trigger here. So I'm going to trigger this. I'm going to use a green tube this time. And for this one, yeah, you're going to look at the camera and I'm going to actually flash your face. So yeah, give me your most debonair look. Perfect. Good. And yep, 3, 2, 1. And we're live. So we're going to go with the speed light. Great. The light's a little bit hard, but that's okay. This is a little too close to him. Stay still. And we're going to do a couple little circles around him. Make him look like a supervillain with this green light. Oh, I turned the tube. Oh, the tube dimmed. So let's fix that. I must have hit the button and the tube dimmed. All right, well, that's it. You got that one for now. Let's start another one. The tube, I think the pressure on the flashlight dimmed in the middle of it. All right, let's try one more time. I'll stand a little bit farther away from you. So maybe cross your arms. Do you look? Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So I'm not going to dim the tube this time. Got that? Oh, I only hit it one time. So this is the base exposure. Let's do it again. You got to hit it twice. And now we're live. Go for the flash. Perfect. Great. And now I'm going to do, since we already saw I'm going to do the vacuum cleaner. You guys remember that, right? Not much space to do the vacuum cleaner. There we go. And it looks like the tube, the flashlight dimmed again. So it's okay. We got the idea. If I have a bigger area to light paint, you can see a lot more action, but it's a very shallow field. So I'm going to show you guys another thing. This is the Nanlite T8 tube. What's cool about it, you can buy it here at Adorama. Where did it go? I actually left it with Gigi. Gigi, do you have that tube that I left out there? If you could find it, that'd be great. It was the white tube. While you find it, I'm going to show you guys what you can do with your flashlight, with your phone. So this is what you guys have already, your phone. So let's get you maybe a power pose, whatever. Yeah. There. Okay, he's got it. What I'm going to show you guys is what you can do with your flashlight. I'm going to make the flashlight beam strong and narrow. I'm going to do one of these. See this? Great. All right, ready? And we're live now. You can actually watch it. Perfect. We're going to light paint him. Perfect. And then we're going to do this kind of swirls. It almost looks like calligraphy. Go down. It's kind of fun just to get creative. Great. Awesome. And I'm going to turn it off. So pretty cool, right? See what you guys can do with just your phone and the flashlight? Awesome. Now we can even make him like he has a superpower. So maybe stick one hand out. Great. And put it a little bit to the side so it won't block your face. Yeah, perfect. A little bit off to the side with your hand. Great. I'm going to trigger the camera. Perfect. Great. First, we're going to light him up. So one thing that's important, which I didn't do, you got to make sure your screen is black. So I'm going to turn my screen off on my phone because you'll still see that. And now we just have the flashlight. So there we go. We got that. That looks good. Oh, and I'm going to make the light look like it's coming from his hand. So here we go. Great, right? We could even do a little bit more. Great. So that's a superpower. Great. So kind of fun, right? And that's all with everything that you have on your phone. So if I wanted to use the LCD screen on my phone, I could look up a pattern. Like let's just look up a rainbow graphic. Or maybe, there we go, rainbow. Here we go. We have this one right here. I know you're not quite a rainbow guy. My cell phone service is not that good. So let's just pick this blue. So you can actually put any color on your phone and then it'll become your LCD screen. I should have had something queued up. So here's a kind of an interesting close-up of something I took earlier. I'm going to dance around you again, so go for that. You could just be arms crossed for this one. So going now. First, we're going to light them up. Great. And then now we're going to turn off the flashlight. We're going to make our LCD screen super bright. A lot of things to happen. I have this kind of rainbow pattern. Pretty cool, right? You don't even need to buy lights. You already have it. We'll do a circle around his head. Awesome. Great. And then you can move out of the frame like so. Cool, right? And that's just like a random picture I had on my phone. If we want to do something low, we could, because we don't have much going on the bottom. Perfect. Awesome, right? Good. And we stop the exposure. Nicely done.
Thanks.
Perfect. So far you guys have seen what you can do, the magic of your phone with the flashlight and the LCD screen. What you can do with this T8 tube that you can buy at the hardware store. And did we ever find the T8 tube? No? It might be over here in my, oh, here it is. Thank you. I actually took it back. Here's the T8 tube. Sorry about that. Last I remember leaving it down on the ground over there. Here's the T8 tube that you could buy Nanlite makes. It is amazing. You can put all the colors on it, so you don't even need to worry about putting colorful gels in your gear. Separately, it comes with this little box that allows you to program it. You can use an app. And the funny thing is with the app, I have so many things that connect to my app. It's annoying. So I have this little box that I got extra, but you can use the app and I turn it on and I can make it all the different colors. It sort of says what's going on here. Let's make it rainbow. Hue loop. So this is really fun. So the pattern I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the windshield wiper. So let's get you ready. And I'm going to do the flash. So it's a lot quicker to do the flash. So strike your pose. Yeah, like that. It's kind of fun. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Perfect. So he's ready. And we're open. Going to go for the flash. Perfect. And now I'm going to do that windshield wiper technique. I don't have much space, so it's going to be a small windshield wiper. We've got the circle behind him. Great. Nice holding the position. He is so good. I'm going to windshield wiper back. I'm going to do my dance. Do my dance. Do my dance. Perfect. That was awesome. Nice holding the windshield wiper. Ooh, there we go. Perfect. So any questions so far? Isn't this the coolest tool ever? I'm going to do one more, strike a different pose. You can just literally walk around your subject. Oh yeah, that's cool. Okay, great. So we're going to flash him. Oh my God, I love your ideas. He's coming. Justin's got this. Okay, great. So we'll do another one. I'm going to make the light come from his arms. Going live now. Okay, great. Oh, I hit it too many times. I got excited. And now, great, here comes the flash. Great. So you can see it's not ideal to use the grid because it's very limiting on where the flash is going. We're gonna make his arms look like they're radiating light. And we'll come back, another radiating light. Great, perfect. And then I'm gonna come back. I'm just gonna walk around him like this. Beep, 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 beep. That's the sound effects, guys. That's the best I got. Cool. So see how you can make people look like they have superpowers just by having like the light sticks and some flashlights and even like a glow sticks. I don't have the glow sticks anymore, but another cool thing is we can add this on this thing. They have something called strobe. Take a look at this. Welding. I don't even know how this represents welding. I guess if I was making a movie, this would be called welding. Let's make it look weldy. but it's cool because it has a strobe effect. Okay, paparazzi is actually cool too. So, strike your pose again, Justin. You got this. Oh yeah, he's feeling it now. Perfect. Great. And triggering the camera and open now. So we're going to strobe him. Great. And look at how cool this is, because it's like this weird strobing pattern. I don't really know what it's going to do, but it creates this cool pattern. Woo, woo, woo. I'm doing the sound effects for whoever asked. Woo, woo, woo. All right, I need help. Someone else needs to do the sound effects. I cannot do everything. So it kind of looks like this light sticks going on. Oh, yes. That is good. I love it. Cool. Great. Hold that pose. And perfect. So let's take a look back at the pictures we've shot and see if anyone has any questions on them so far. Justin's killing it. Let's go to full frame. Yes. What is the question? These tubes?
Yeah.
I believe they do. They might be out of stock at the exact moment, but definitely talk to someone here because this is definitely so cool, the Nanlite TA tube. But I think they might be out of stock, but it'll be in stock soon. Yes.
Does it make a difference whether or not you flash them in the beginning or the end of it?
So the question was, does it make a difference to flash them at the beginning or the end? To be honest, I haven't noticed too much of a difference, except for the model sometimes looks more interested at the beginning, and sometimes they start to look more glazed over and bored and confused at the end. But in terms of like changing the dynamicness of the picture, I haven't noticed a difference. But it's a good question. Yes.
When you first take the photo, if the model kind of moves while you're like painting, does that create a false?
Yes. So good question. So someone said, if the model moves and you first flash them and then you do the light painting around it, will it create something funny? The answer is yes. So if the model moves in between the time that I flash them and then I light paint them, there could be a dark shadow behind them in the space that the light painting wasn't. I mean, it can happen. But that can happen at the end or at the beginning. So yes, that does happen. So that's why you have to have a great model like Justin, who stays still. Any other questions? I'm noticing that I'm not getting Justin's feet too much, so I'm going to point it down a little bit. Oh, I do see him on here. So I guess I just haven't been light painting it too much. Take one step back. Yep, right behind this light line. Perfect. Yep. So Justin actually brought another outfit.
Yes. And well, I brought a cloak.
He brought a cloak. Who doesn't want to shoot with a cloak? So we're going to... he came, actually, before you do that, because the hula hoop will not go with the cloak.
Okay.
Let me show everyone the hula hoop.
Let's do it.
Because this is my favorite tool. It is so fun. This is by Hula Labs. They have bigger sizes. I have bigger sizes, but this is the most portable one. And we're going to dance around you with some lights. So let's turn this off. I'm going to go back to using the phone because the phone is cool. And the reason why I like the phone is because it's not spreading light on the background. The flash will spread light on the background. So for this one, you could give me your power pose again. Perfect. Oh, good. I like that. Good. So getting ready, turning the flashlight on, all the little things we have to do. Flashlight on. Perfect. Great. Turn off the screen. Perfect. So going, first I got to make sure you guys can see it. Yep. What's the question in the chat?
Someone online is asking, what would you say is the biggest challenge when light painting with a group photo?
With a group of?
Group photo.
With a group photo. People moving. That's like the biggest challenge with a group photo. So everyone needs to be on board and understand that is a commitment to the photo with a group photo. Also, getting light to spread evenly on each person is a challenge because some people might be closer to where you spread the light. So I would say and if you pop multiple lights and if one person moves, they're going to look crazy. Even I've had people blink in the middle of one light and the other and they look like a reptile. It's actually really cool. This is great for you and your long exposures because he's always trying to make scary people. The people just shift their eyes I have a model do this, and they shift their eyes during the exposure, and it makes their eyes look white. And it's such a cool experience that, you know, she could wear contacts or she could just shift her eyes. So it is a challenge to do a group photo.
Real quick, they're asking you just go over the camera and the software that you're actually using right now.
Sure. So what I'm using here is the OM system. This is the OM1. There's now an OM2 that's out. What's cool about this camera is that it has a live comp feature, and that's how I'm able to see it happen in real time. I'm using the OM software, and the OM capture is how you're able to see it. I'm drawing that on my computer, and the playback is called, another one of the OM playbacks, I think it's called OM workflow. So everything is proprietary to the OM system. Can you do light painting with any other camera? The answer is heck yeah. But can you see it happen in real time? No. The only cameras that have this feature is cameras that have computational photography built in. So it is the OM system and the Panasonic and also the phone. So if you have a smartphone, it has computational features built into it. So you can see this as well. Yep. What's your question?
The shapes, right? Or do you just look through your camera?
She has a great question. So she said, do I typically tether or do I typically look through the back of my screen? Because I have the OM system, I will typically tether, not all the time because I'm normally shooting on location, but even if I throw the LCD screen around, I can look at the LCD screen while I'm light painting and know that I got everything I wanted. So it's so helpful before I hit stop. When I'm shooting with a regular camera, I shoot with the Sony a7R5 a lot, and I do predominantly a lot of my pictures with this. This is just really a demo camera that I use. It's not perfect for shooting it in the field. That's why I use my Sony, because it's more megapixels. It's better for night photography in the field. But when I do that, I don't use the LCD. You just have to say, guess, okay, this is what my imagination thinks everything went, and you kind of just speculate, and you have to have a good frame of reference. So I know that when I'm right behind him and I have to center up the camera, and I know if I do this one arm's length this way, I have to do one arm's length that way. So you start to learn spatial references. But when I have a cheap camera like this, it's great to have ability to see it happen in real time, and that's helped me become a better photographer. Like a better light painter, actually, because I'm able to see what each motion does. I recommend it if you guys really want to learn light painting. Yes, one more question in the back.
What are your settings on the camera again?
Good question. I never even referenced that. So my camera settings are 100 ISO, f5, and it's a bulb mode. So it's the live comp mode. So to get this settings, I have it at 0.5, which allows me my base exposure to be 1/5 of a second. But then the exposure is bulb, so I can stop it whenever I want. Yes?
35mm film?
Can you do this with film?
Yeah.
I'm sure you can. You're gonna have to ask someone who shoots film still. I've never done it with film, but I would love to try. But yes, I'm sure you can still do it with film. Good questions, guys. So for this one, I'm gonna do the hula hoop. I'm gonna use the phone to light them up. So we've already hit the first remote trigger, get into your power pose. Great. Oh, yeah, he's into it. And we're going live. So we're going to start here, work our way up. So a good question is, Susan, do I light him up from the feet up or from the ground up? Ooh, I hit the tripod, but I think it's going to be okay. I light from the feet up because if I start from the head up, then I end up creating a hot spot on the ground. See, doesn't everyone want a hula hoop now? I knew you would. Whoever can do the hula hoop the longest will get the hula hoop at the end. Just kidding. Awesome. Nice pose. Great. So this is the hula hoop. It's also fun. Let me show you one other technique. I'm going to put it on a rainbow mode. This is great if you want to put it around the lens. So we'll put it on a rainbow mode. First I'm going to flash him. Great. You could even do something with your hand right towards the camera. Perfect. So that'll be cool. First I'm going to do is I'm going to trigger the camera. Got that. Going to flash him. Great. And then I'm going to be ready. Stop this. I don't know if I stopped it in time. I need to be on the other side, but let's take a look at that. So you can create this kind of optical illusion. Where did the playback go? Workflow. Yeah. So we'll try it again. We'll get it right on his. I couldn't look at him and the screen at the same time. So we'll try one more time. It'll be real cool. But see how nice that pattern is? So neat. Okay. All right. Going live. And now, flashing him. Great. I missed his hand, so we'll just come a little bit from the side. Well, it looks crazy. We'll start again. Not that his hand is that important, but just to get a good picture. All right, good. Going now. Great. So now the trick is I have to stop it before it gets too much. I have to watch it on his face. There we go. Coming in. There we go. So that was good. So we don't want to close him up too much. And I see Ibis is in the crowd. Ibis is here, and I did one of him and his girlfriend like this, and it was super cool. But doesn't it look like he's going into the vortex? So, the rainbow vortex, that is. Great. So now let's put on the cloak, and we're going to do some fiber optic stuff. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming all in. Yes. Does it have a hood or no? Okay. That's okay.
But Justin has come through for us for like the most recent demos. Let's give him a round of applause for Justin.
Yeah, Justin. All right. So for this one, I have this fiber optic. So one thing I haven't showed you guys is because I just started using all the tools because I pre-checked them all. I haven't checked this out. This actually runs very dim. So it might not be bright enough with the flashlight I have. So what I always do before I get the model involved and everything, I'll test the light out. And the way I do this is I just set the camera up. I turn the light on. Let's see, it's on strobe mode and see if I can see it. Okay, great. So this is what I'll do before I go and do all the elaborate things is I test the light out and make sure it's plenty bright enough. So it is plenty bright enough. It is on a strobe mode, which I don't love. Let's see. There we go. I could turn it off the strobe mode, but is it bright enough now? Let's see. Yeah, great. So what we're going to do is we're going to reset the exposure. We're going to use the phone. We're going to light him up. And now this is when I want you to have fire in your hands. Great. And now maybe put it a little bit away from your face like that. Perfect. Great. Okay, we're live. We're going to light him up. Perfect. Good. So we got enough of him. I'm going to bring the flashlight behind him. And we see the fire in his hands. Perfect. Sometimes we need a little bit more fire. And up here. Great. Now, if I wanted to put it on the ground, I could do a little bit more on the ground. Make it really Game of Thrones-y. Oh, turned off. Oh, wants to put her out on me. There we go. Here we go. There we go. And a little bit more on this side. Yeah, you're on fire, Justin. In your Game of Thrones but khaki look. It almost worked. All right, good. So you guys see the idea of creating fiber optic. So what this is, just so for those of you who are back home, it is a fiber optic brush with a red gel, and this is from lightpaintingbrushes.com. You get one in their starter kit. It's so cool. The red doesn't come with it, but you could just buy a red gel here at Adorama and light it up red and create the fiery look. But you do get the black, and what's cool about it is the light only comes through the tips. So I'll show you on this one, which is just pink. You can create the same look. Let's do it. But let's just do a test. So look how much this, so now it's not just the tips, it's just the whole thing. So let's get into position again. Maybe a different one. Okay. So for this one, I am not going to light up his pants. I learned that lesson. That did not go.
Selleck as the crow.
Close.
King of the North, Tom Selleck.
All right. So I'm going to go with the flash. Let's see how this looks. So we know the light won't spill. So going now. Perfect. Let's give him a little flash. Great. And now what's good about this is there's a lot of darkness. So this one should be super bright. Yeah, see how much brighter it is? Because it's not just the tips, it's the whole thing. Barely needs any light. There we go, perfect. You're really on fire over here. Great, perfect. Awesome. So you can see the difference in the two different gels. One has a lot more light coming out of it and the other one doesn't. Awesome. One other thing, someone had asked me, how did I create that look on the time machine? So I use this light whip. So this is the whip. What's cool about it is you can pick a bunch of different, oh, let me turn, everything's getting stuck. Great, thank you. This is the light whip, and it's an attachment for this RGB critter flashlight. So what's cool about this flashlight is I can turn it to be so many different patterns and shapes. Great for parties. But let's swirl it around you. So let's have you do your own look again.
Figure out more stuff to do.
You're doing great. You're hired. Okay, perfect. Now back up a little bit. You got a little too close. Yep, there we go. And honestly, I would recommend checking focus every so often because there's nothing worse than getting home and then realizing your pictures are all out of focus. The worst. Okay, going now. So we're going to flash him. Great. Oh, no. We hit the button twice. One more time. Cool. And went to a different mode. There we go. Cool. So we could kind of go through this and do a little swirly swirl behind him. Oh, I'm whipping him. Sorry. Sorry, Justin. You've been a bad boy. Sorry. Okay.
And we're striked on YouTube. Awesome. Thank you so much.
We'll do one more. Great. And one more over here. Oh, no, don't move.
Sorry.
That's okay. We'll do a couple more. We'll fill in the holes.
Gonna whip you.
I'm having way too much fun. Sorry, Justin. Okay, good. Great. So, yeah, there we go. Sorry, that was intense.
No, that was cool.
Oh, sure.
Turn on the AC. Let's go.
No pain, no gain. So I kind of missed the spot over here. It got a little out of control. I'm not gonna lie. I got really into it. But one thing I would notice is Justin looks very blue. Because this light was so orange, I bet you I have it in auto white balance. It turned my white balance into a funny thing. So the flash is blue. So what I could do to combat that would be to put a CTO gel on top so they would blend. Or you just change it in post. It hasn't been a problem yet. But because it was probably on auto white balance, I saw how warm this was and tried to compensate. So the flash and the light tool were very different. But it looks kind of cool. This is the previous ones, just so you can get a look at his work. This is just me messing around. Very nice. Great. So one other look I want you to do is this is also very simple. I showed you guys that you only need a speed light. We're going to get Justin in 3 different positions, kind of like Charlie's Angels.
Okay.
So, yeah, think about first you're going to come 1 step to the left, 1 to the center. That's even too much. Even it could just be like lean
boom,
forward. Yeah.
Boom. Boom.
Oh,
Right.
natural. It's like he's done this before.
Correction.
We have put him
Yeah.
through so much in this event school.
So you want me to start from here first?
Yeah, one side. Pick a side. Perfect. That's your good side too. Actually, they're both good. Perfect. So tell me what you're going to do so that I can prepare my flash.
Do this.
Okay. Oh,
This.
yeah.
And then maybe we'll do it.
Oh, hey. Okay. All right. Got it. So I'm always going to put the light where his nose is pointing. You can choose, but I try not to be right over the camera, even though I think I might have been a couple times, but just try and create shape and shadow with the light direction. All right, we're going now, and I'll tell you when to move. So here, stay still. Great. Next one. Great. Got it. Great. So very cool. Now, would I have cropped in on this exposure? Like, will this be like a tighter shot? Totally. I would totally zoom in, and I'm not going to change the whole setup, but the most interesting part of the picture was this part. So see how you can have, it's great for dancers. I'll play the picture back for you guys. You know, we could keep working it, but I wanted to show you conceptually what it looked like. So it'd be better as a tight shot right on in. Let's move it in. Zoom, 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 zoom. And then you could even have someone being happy, sad, mad, or, you know, like sleepy, awake, you know, those whole things. So you could do a lot of different ideas with this picture, this kind of concept. Let's go back. Great. I think I've gone through most of my light tools. I'll look at one more time, see what else I haven't played with. This one's one of my favorites. It's a tube I made, a homemade tube. It has a blue and an orange gel. We'll see how it looks today. I made it, you can look, it's very homemade. You have the blue gel, and then I crammed in an orange CTO gel. And I have a tissue at the end of it. So we're just gonna move around him. I'm gonna do a swirly swirl in a circle. We'll see what it looks like. And we're gonna flash him with the flash. Ready for this one?
Yeah.
Perfect. We're live? Great. Good, and then give me a power pose. Superpower. Yes. All right, good. I just like watching you think of things. Okay, going now. Great. Now we're going to do the little swirlies. So we're going to come in, little swirls. I'm going to do a little swirly swirl. So you can see the orange isn't getting as much light as I would have liked. The tube has been in a lot of travels with me, but you still get the end of it, and it still looks pretty cool. Great. Awesome. Great, let's pause that. Perfect. So nicely done. Does anyone have questions, or would anyone like to try this? Yes, a question in the back.
Can you do that with a green screen?
Can I do the green screen? Sure. I mean, why not? So you're saying you want to do this picture and then put it on a different background. I mean, why do that when you can just use like background remove and just have the light painting in the picture? The question would be, would the light painting be thick enough that you would see, like what do you want if it's transparent light painting, it might be a difficult scene. But yes, you can remove the background and plop him on different locations, sure. Yes, Cliff.
Demo the drone light painting for us.
Oh, the drone light painting. If you brought your drone, I would love to demo it, but that's a good one. I wish I had the drone to do some light painting. Yes?
Demo thing that you use, how long can it like stay on?
I've never seen how long it could go on, but I'm pretty sure like till the battery dies. I mean, because what I have done is I've done star trails for hours. So it has another feature similar called live bulb. So it's like live comp, but it's more like live bulb. So you're actually watching the star trails build in real time. And that's been for a couple hours. So I think it could be on for hours until the battery dies.
Oh.
He was awesome. Thank you, Sad. Thank you, Printique. I'm so grateful for.
Oh, cool. And we have late arrivals. Perfect. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Well, again, everybody who came here live, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Everybody who are watching us live from Europe, from America, from anywhere, thank you for spending the next hour with me. Today, technically, we're gonna try to explain the continuous lighting in fashion, in technically any surrounding and any shoot. And we're gonna be using Zhiyun lighting today because they're awesome and they're contributing their lights for this shoot. So yeah, let's just start with like a little bit of intro for me if you guys don't know. So my name is Dushawn. I'm originally from Belgrade, Serbia. I came here 9 years ago, and I've been doing this for I think 7 or 8 years now, full time. I started with video, and then I kind of slowly switched to photos because back then when I started, you didn't have all this social media and everything, so technically you were either a videographer or a photographer. Right now, everybody has to know everything because of all the social media, so technically you have to know in video and photo and everything. So yeah, Everybody's doing everything at this point. I started with fitness first because my wife is a personal trainer, and also my wife is the one who bought me my first camera. So technically she's the one who kind of pushed me into this, so I will be forever grateful. And I started with fitness because all her friends wanted free shots, and we all know when you start, I know, right? We all know when you start, you just got to use everything, you just use it and abuse it. So fitness was the first thing. Then I slowly started doing portraits, and with models, I was doing portfolios for the models. Then I kind of got introduced to fashion and products in a lifestyle environment, and that's pretty much where I found my niche or the passion. Now, Seth asked me a really good question before this, and I just didn't know how to answer him correctly, so I just went on ChatGPT and found the best possible answer. But he asked me, why fashion? Because the title of this is Constant Lighting in Fashion. Exactly, somebody said money. Money is definitely a reason why, but it's a really big market. Also, it doesn't have to be just fashion, it can be products. So technically anything that you're shooting, like by the way, this is Taylor. She's gonna be an amazing model and person today. And as you guys see from her, she's wearing a hat, she's wearing a jacket, sneakers are fine. We're not gonna showcase them today that much, but you good? Yeah, something cool. So we have so many possible clients that technically if you just shoot a jacket, you can have a multiple of clients reaching out, and that's why fashion. So technically it's just a clientele is unlimited playground, especially if you live in New York or any bigger cities. I personally don't like shooting in the studio because I feel very limited. I like shooting outdoors. Again, in New York, it's your playground. Like if you're shooting fashion, Soho is always good because you have so many different architectures. You technically can do 4 different backgrounds in just one spot if you just shoot a low angle and just switch different angles and different buildings, and that's it. So that's a little bit about me, how I started. Now, when I started, how I did my light progression. I started with, like everybody, with natural lighting, which to this day, I still feel it's the best possible thing that you can do with. After natural lighting, I started experimenting with continuous lighting because I was doing video as well. And that kind of went with each other because once you're doing a video, you can only use continuous lighting. And then it just came natural for me to use it in photo too. I did dabble a little bit with flash. I still do it. It's great, but if I can choose one thing, it will be a continuous lighting for sure. And I'll explain later why. So that's pretty much a little bit about me. Now, why constant light? Often as creators, as far as my expertise goes and everything, we don't have time to set up, to test out before. Sometimes it's very run and gun. We literally don't have time for anything. So the constant lighting, it is what it is. When you turn it on, when you set it up, you see it directly into the camera, and that's it. If you have a flash, you have to do a test, check it out. If it doesn't work, do a test again, move the light, do a test, do the white balance, check out the exposure. Flashes are getting better. Like I personally use Pro Photo right now, and they're super easy to set up, but continuous lighting is by far the best as far as what you see is what you get. Okay, one thing that I think it was in the past as far as the continuous lighting is when you're traveling, it was a hassle to transport because the lights used to be so big, and especially if you have to do the softbox or the lantern or anything, it's just very hard. You have to check in the luggage and stuff, but everything changed now, so technically all the lights are super small, so it's way better now. Okay, that's pretty much why the constant lighting. And then why Zhiyun? Why do we decide to highlight Zhiyun in this case? Did anybody's familiar with the brand? Yeah. Did you guys use their lights or no? Gimbal? Okay, so yeah, that's it. So how I started with Zhiyun is I was using gimbals with the videography. And then I think 2 years ago, once I realized they started doing lights, I was like, okay, let me buy one, let me check it out. Before then, I was using all the other brands. They were good. Like the light is a light, technically 200, 300 watts. Everything works pretty similarly. But what kind of brought me to Zhiyun is their, well, couple of things actually. And I'll address that right now. So one is quality. Quality is really good. Once you guys, I can show you, I can give you one of the lights right here. So we have the G200 and I'm gonna pass it to the audience. And just pass it and please bring it back because that's my personal light. Very good quality, very good dimensions, they do not save on that. That's number one. Number two, pricing. It was very affordable. And again, that changes over time. The lights used to be very expensive, but now from amateurs to professionals, everybody can experience them and use them. So that was the second thing. If you're not doing this full-time or professionally, I understand 800, 900 bucks can be a lot to give for a light, plus the softbox, plus this, plus that. So it kind of ends up being a $2,000. But with Zhiyun, I find that you don't need as much money for the exact same quality. And I think the biggest part for me, it was portability. Because I was traveling a lot, I was doing video, I was doing photo, and the lights were so small and so powerful that I can put them in my suitcase, I can put them in my bag, I can just carry them anywhere. Technically, if I ask anybody, let's say 6 years ago, that you can come to a video or a photo shoot with 2 light stands, 2 300-watt lights, with 2 soft boxes, you will say, like, I need somebody to help me with it. But at this point, especially with Zhiyun, because the lights are so small and portable, you can just put them in a regular bag, carry it with you, be like one-man show if you don't have a budget for more people. And it just made life so much easier as far as portability goes. And that's it. Now, as far as the title of the workshop, Mastering Fashion Photography, you don't have to use these lights for fashion. You can use it for anything, for product photography, for portraits, anything in the studio. I would say the only thing that you can use it is the bird photography, but I don't think that's our audience today or everywhere. So
Are these continuous?
continuous, yes, yeah.
Use it for television.
Yeah, that's right. Well, welcome, by the way. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, you can use it for anything, pretty much. That's it. As long as you know what your subject is and what is it for, that's about it. Okay, can I have the light back if everybody saw it? Yeah, awesome. I just want to tell you guys something about, so we're going to start doing a little bit of the lights itself. I'm going to go to the audience and bring it back. Thank you. Okay, so the first light that kind of brought my attention is the G200. And that was 2 years ago. Now, as you guys can see, it's extremely small. And that was the first thing that, like, I was like, how can this power 200? And they have like the max mode 300. So technically I use this in my office when I do YouTube videos or shorts. You can use it for an interview. It's really good when you use it with the softbox, with a lantern, with even if you're bouncing off the ceiling, it's very strong. And after they made this, they made the 300. So the 300, if you guys can see it from here, it's technically the same size, but it is way powerful because 300 is 300 watts, but you can overpower it, overclock it to 500. So it's pretty powerful. They do have 500 option, but it's a little bit bigger, so I didn't want to showcase that here today. But as you guys can see, they're so small, and I don't know, that was pretty much the main reason why I started using them. After that, because I do a lot of run and gun situations, and especially if I'm traveling, I can't bring a lot of options with me. This little tiny light, I don't know if you guys were familiar with this one. This is the X60, and it's RGB, and it's super powerful. And every time when I when I come to the shoot with this light, the clients were like, "Are you serious? Like, are you joking? Like with this? Like, we paid you so much money." But it is really, really, as you guys can see, yeah, so this is 50%. She pretends that it's blind, but she's not. And this is 100. And honestly, if you're shooting outdoor, like I did a Christmas shoot outdoor for a fashion brand with 2 models, we had this light and we had the light, the 100-watt option. That's all we used because this little battery lasts for an hour approximately with 100% usage. So it worked. It really worked really well. And of course, it has million options with the RGB. It connects with the app, so you don't even have to hold it. You can put it on a tripod or anything. And as you guys can see, it is so small and tiny that you can put it on your camera bag and just travel with it. Okay, I'll turn off the light now. It look like somebody abducted it. If you guys want to check it out, I'll give you this, of course. And then we have the new thing in the lineup that you guys are seeing right here. It's the Cinepeer 100. So technically, it is a tube light, but it is so much more than a regular tube light. It's 100 watt. It is a little bit on the heavier side. So if you are using this on any shoots, you either want to mount it or you want to have an assistant to hold it. So technically, all the other smaller lights that I showcased, I was just gunning with the camera and the light, and I can do everything by myself. But with this light, it is a little bit harder to show it and to shoot it with it. So I would just use the assistant. And as you guys can see, it has a barn door, so you can model the light as you wish. It has a reflective barn door, which is very nice that they included that. And it comes with so many more accessories. I feel like a salesman here, but I'm really impressed with them. It comes with, I think, grid, right? Correct? Yeah, with the honeycomb grid, 100 watts, full RGB, connects with your app as well. As you guys can see, it can fit anywhere, super small. And again, I think with a 50% power, and let me try to connect it. With the 50% power, it can go up to, I think, 2 hours, which is very impressive. So technically, this goes straight to your head. That's great. So this is 30%. So if we want to go up to 100, this is extremely bright. And then you can just close one side, close the other side. I mean, you guys know the drill.
So it has a built-in battery that lasts for an hour at 100%?
Yeah. It has a built-in battery. Apparently, it's a really big battery. It's like this is all the battery. It doesn't get hot when you hold it, so you can even hold it or mount it. And yeah, 100%, 1 hour. Just for me, I think it's really impressive. I'll turn that off. Who said, hi from Spain, this guy is awesome. Well, thank you, Danny Hooks, I appreciate it. Hola, let's just do that. Okay, now for this photo shoot, for this demo, let me say, I'll be using their lantern. I personally like lanterns way better than softboxes for this case, for fashion, because it's not a directional light like a softbox. It gives me a way better, how would you say it? Way better spread, correct. Yeah, my English is not my first language, so if I just dropped somewhere, sorry about that. I can talk Serbian, but nobody will understand me, so yeah, we'll be using a lantern for this, and I want to showcase 2 options. One with the lantern. We do have a softbox, so we'll do that later. But I want to showcase how the 300 goes, and then what we're going to do with the 100. And that would be it. So all the photos that you guys saw over there are mine, of course. Some of them are done with natural lighting. Like this one is natural. This is all natural, and I'm just gonna go with all the photos. And this is my logo done with natural. This is rooftop. So as you guys can see, I really do like natural lights. But in some of the photos indoor that you guys gonna see right about now, this one was done with X60, which is very impressive. It was like 11 a.m. This is done with X60 as well, this as well. So all these indoor shots, like a vintage vibes, this was all done with that tiny little light that somebody still has, I think. Yeah, perfect. So
hand-holding these?
I was hand holding it, yeah. I even had one of these photos, like give it to the model to hold it because I couldn't, and it was very easy to explain it because if you used one of the Zhiyun lights, you technically know how to use all of them because they all have a very similar setting. And they all have the fancy effects like music mode and stuff like that, which I personally don't use that much. but they're there if you want to play around. If you do product photography, for example, or videography, the effects can be very good if you do like a light candle or a TV, or if you're doing YouTube, that can be a really nice background light, just a flicker or something. So it has its options and it has its use, just not in my photography. Okay, so I'm gonna stop this right now, and we're gonna start tethering. So we're gonna start shooting the first, and as you guys can see, I'm gonna be using my phone to turn on everything, so which is a really good thing that you can connect in. And there's no like find the setting, find the button. Technically, as soon as you turn on the light and you turn on the app, the light connects and you don't have to do anything else, which is very good, I would say, because sometimes there's so many hidden menus and you don't know what to do. Okay, so ta-da! We have the light. There's our lovely model. If you guys, whoever came late, this is Taylor. I work with her. We shot Equinox Hotel. We shot a little bit of fashion, like I forgot what brand, but yeah, we just like working with, she's very professional. So as you guys will see, I'm not gonna pretty much tell her anything. She will just move and then she will do amazing. So we'll do this one at 55 Kelvin, which is the regular daylight. I do like a little bit of warmer tones. If you guys see my Instagram, and I think it says, we have the Instagram somewhere there, right? I like that vintage warmer tones. I'm not your over editing photographer who would do super crispy. Like I like cinematic, I like vintage, I like film. I love film. I don't shoot film, but all my photos are shot with digital and they resemble film. So we are gonna use 55 for this, but I do have, I'll tell you what I have on my camera, which some of you might not even heard before, which I've heard from my friend Sharif, who is in the audience right now. Thank you. And then we'll turn the Cinepeer as well at 55. So technically all this is gonna resemble a shoot that you would do in a regular studio with, it can be e-commerce, it can be anything fashion related. Yes. Let me turn on that. We'll turn the phone. And then we'll do live tethering. Remote shooting. Great. Okay. So should I turn on the live or not really? No. Nah. Okay. I'll keep it like this. Yeah.
Just make people sick after.
Yeah, because we're gonna be shooting horizontal and vertical, so technically I don't want to do anything live. So a good thing is when you're by yourself. Oh yeah, I'll have that. Thank you. I hope, are you guys impressed how tiny this little light is? It's insane. And also, if you have this light or any smaller light, you get this Bowens mount, so you can connect any of the Bowens soft boxes and you can use it as a big light too, because this one is 60, but there's an option that is very similar size and it's 100. So you can just use it as a main light. So just imagine coming to a set with this and that and just light up subject. Okay, so good thing, as I said, about continuous lighting is what you see in the camera is what you get. I'm sorry you guys can't see. Actually, I'll turn on live for now, and then I'll turn it off later. And I'll do everything portrait, so I'll turn, yep, this looks great. There we go. And that is her in her all glory. So what are we using today? So today I'm all the time shooting on Sony. I started with Sony. I am dedicated to Sony. I do have Fuji X100V just because it looks cute and it's dope. If I used it a couple of times, but that's it. But yeah, Sony is, please sponsor me if you're watching this because you're awesome. A7 IV, that's my choice. And why I decided with A7 IV is I have the FX3 for video and I needed a B camera that it can do photo and video at the same time. So technically this is the best hybrid right now on the market as far as Sony cameras that can do photo and video and replicate the color of the FX3. So it's a great B camera for FX3, I would say. So we have the A7 IV. We have the 24-70, which is my golden lens, the G Master 1 or 2. Honestly, it has difference, but it doesn't. So whatever you guys can afford and get it, I would say just, you can even use Sigma, it doesn't really matter. But 24-70 for any type of fashion, any type of modeling job is great. You can use 16-35 if you're doing high fashion. I do like a low angle 16-35 look, like a wide shot if you do that, especially if you're doing big dresses and the model is moving and you capture that movement, that can be amazing. But yeah, we have 24-70 and we have the Polar Pro, or I want to say, we have a filter. No, it's Tiffin. We have a Tiffin Warm Pro Mist, which I did not even know they make the warm one, but I don't know in the studio how this is gonna, it doesn't really showcase well, but if you do it in a natural lighting outside, it gives you that warmth that, I can't explain it, you have to shoot with it, but it's just the picture, even though if you're shooting RAW or JPEG, whatever you edit, I shoot both all the time, and I edit RAW and I send JPEG to my clients. But the warm filter, 1.8 or 1.4 if you wanna go wild, just give you that vintage look. So if any client is asking you, hey, can we shoot and can you give me that vintage look straight out of the camera? I don't want edited photos. Use the Warm Pro Mist. It is really good. And it's $100 or something, so it's not that crazy. I would do 1.8 if you, again, want to go wild, do 1.4, but 1.8 is perfect. So that's the today's setup. So we have 24-70. So we have everything set to 5500 Kelvin just to replicate the continuous lighting. And again, what I like about this light, continuous compared to flash, what you see in the camera is what you get. I'm not gonna stop repeating that because it's a blessing. And let's say the jacket is our main focus. So that's our client. Banana Republic paid us $30,000 to shoot this, and we don't know how to spend it, so we just came here and we're having fun. And then as you guys can see, this light, it is 22%. And then we have the Cinepeer, the little light, which is 100. Again, this is 300, that is 100. I'm gonna up it up. As you guys can see, if I turn it off completely, it gives it that, I wanna say cinematic look because you have dark side and bright side, but if you continue a little bit, it kind of pops on the jacket too, which is the main focus. So if we want to shoot the jacket, I'm going to put the camera down. If we want to focus on the jacket, we will put this down a little bit, and then we will, the barn doors here come in handy because as you guys can see, we can figure out what type, we can remove it from her face, or her face can still be, can you look straight? It can still be on a darker side, but when we open it, it showcases the jacket. Do you guys see that? Which is very important when you're doing fashion or any type of product photography. You just gotta highlight the hero shot, the product. Yeah, so yeah, white balance is set. And this looks nice and clean to me. I don't know if you guys can see it over there on the screens and online, but very commercial. We don't have to do anything else as far as the lights. She knows how to move. We will do a full body if we have the space and everything. But yeah, she just, as you guys can see, she just knows how to move. So if you guys ever went to those websites, ASOS or Boohoo or even Nike, they all have photos with the white background. So that's a must. That's called, I think, e-commerce. So you have to do it. Ideally, we would do this outdoor. And the only, I would say that's the only thing that I hope to see in the future with Zhiyun, that these big lights come with a V-mount. That way we can shoot it outdoor. We don't need power. We don't need plug. Technically, that's the only drawback that I see. But again, you can use the 100 one if you need additional lighting outdoor, or you can use the bouncer. You can use anything. You don't have to use continuous outside. You got a question?
Yeah, Eric in the chat's asking, how do you obtain your commercial shoots?
Commercial or shoots. What does that mean, obtain?
How do you acquire clients?
Oh, okay. So that's a great question, actually. Everybody actually do ask me how I get booked and busy. And at this point, so as I said, 7 years, I started with just testing out. The best thing to obtain commercial or any type of client is spec shoots. If you guys don't know the term of spec shoot, it's the shoot that you do to attract clients in a certain area and expertise. So if we're shooting for, she doesn't have any jewelry right now, good job. But if she has jewelry, we would highlight that. And then even to this day, Instagram helps a lot, I would say. Word of mouth is the best possible recommendation. But you have to have a portfolio and you have to technically know what client you want to attract and just shoot there. If you want to do car commercials, shoot cars. If you want to do fashion, shoot different type of clothing. If you're not living in, like whoever lives in New York, I would say they have a really big advantage because you can shoot anything. If you're living in LA or Miami or some other cities, you kind of have to pick a niche. If you're in Miami, you have to shoot bikinis or something like that. But in New York, honestly, you can shoot anything. So I don't know, Eric, where you're from, but I would just say.
He's from here. He usually shows up to everything.
Oh, cool. Okay, so yeah, if you live in New York, man, just do spec shoots. Just grab a jacket, grab an earring, grab sunglasses. Like I've shot so many sunglasses companies just because I did a random shoot with a model. Also, research Instagram, find models. I think that's how we started working. Like find models, reach out to them, offer a free shoot. They always need a portfolio shoot. You always need a good portfolio stuff. So yeah, just I know the word collaboration can suck sometimes because people just want to use and abuse everybody. But if you find that collaboration is mutually beneficial, I would say do it all the time. Just be picky with what you're shooting and who you're shooting, and just have that in mind. That's it. Okay, so yeah, as you guys can see, this is classic e-commerce. She's moving, she's showcasing the jacket. Can we do like a zip, like you're zipping up? We can even focus on the jacket itself. I'm upping my ISO a little bit, but I don't have to because I can just up my light. And technically, I'm at 30% power right now, which is more than enough. Like every time I'm shooting anything in my studio, even myself when I'm talking or any product, I don't think I'm going above 50%. I usually use the 200, I brought 300, and I'll show you how powerful it is. But yeah, can you look to your left or right? There you go. So yeah, as you guys can see, it is extremely bright. And it just showcases how can that work. So I'm gonna let me actually press play. I'll turn this. So as you guys can see, the shots are extremely clean. The jacket is highlighted. There's not even editing, which is crazy. Very, very impressive. So this would be kind of like e-commerce. If we want to do a high fashion, we would just do it outdoor. I would never do it in the studio. But that is with just regular white lighting. Now, if we want to go a little crazy, unfortunately, this light can't go RGB, but this one can, which is awesome. And then we'll play with that. Let's see a little bit of depth. Color. So we can use red. Okay, I'm gonna do live one more time. And I have to flip it again, right? Okay, this tethering thing, if you guys ever tethered, it sucks. But you gotta do it. Okay, so this is with, I'm gonna tone this one down because we wanna show a little bit of depth there. And then if you have an app, which everybody does, you can tone this one down or this one up. Again, you can pick any color. If, for example, we are very brown today, I would say, But if you have a colorful dress or something like that and you want to use different type of lighting, you can emulate from the light the color of the dress, so the color can be exactly what the dress is. So if you want to put that as a background, you can also do that. I chose red. I don't even know why, but it just looks cool. And then just gives it a little bit of a different vibe, different pop, I would say. If you guys can see. At this point, see, sandbags, we have to use them, right? Use always sandbags for security, I would say, even though the lights are extremely light. I wanna put this a little more towards her face. There we go. Okay, connecting that. There we go, much better. So this technically gets out of the e-commerce territory and goes into more fashionable. If we want to do more portrait vibes, this is a great start. Yeah, you can look down exactly like that. That's it. Grab a hat maybe with both hands. And down completely the head. Yep, that's it. So now if you have a hat company, this is your client. You just focus on the hat. ISO is around 800. We are at f2.8, but we can even go higher. So let's try to go higher with f-stop. I'm gonna press one time, goes to 20%, and then if you just keep on pressing, it goes up to 100. So this is technically at 300 watts right now. As I said, they do have a max mode, so if you press both buttons twice, goes up to 500 watts, which is crazy, but we do not need that. We'll just use all 300. And then our ISO now can be 200, and our f-stop can be, let's say 6.3. And since she's not moving, our shutter speed is 125. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. But if we do want to have those, let me see, if we do want to have those slow shutter stuff effects, I would put the slow shutter to, let's say, 15. ISO is all the way down. I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah, perfect. So when I say now, maybe just do this with a jacket.
Sure.
Oh, okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Got it. Okay, and now we play. So now we have that slow shutter effect, which is more of a vibe than showcasing the product itself, but this can be really useful in an outdoor environment. In the studio, I wouldn't do this, but just showcasing what a light can actually do if it's powerful enough. Okay, let's do a little more. Perfect, that's it. Love it. So we are still at 15, going up. And then showcasing the jacket, putting that red stop. I've shot recently a perfume bottle, and this light came really in handy because the lighting just made everything pop behind it. We had just a white backdrop, but because of the light and we used the effects, it worked wonders. So I would just say play with it. Play with the continuous lighting. It's there. Again, you see it, anything that you do, you see it, how you set it up straight into the camera. I'm gonna lower this one down because we're gonna blind our model. But as you guys can see, it is pretty bright. Okay, now it's very dark, which is great. But then if we do snip here, if we make this one brighter, and then let's move it, let's change the color. So if we don't want red, we can do yellowish. There you go. Brightness on this side completely, and it loses that dark shadow in the background. So yeah, just showcasing technically what can you do with when you have a good continuous line with you on a shoot, and you don't have to worry with the flash, does the setting good, especially if your client is there when you have a shoot, this is perfect. If you can connect it to the external screen. Also, why is it good? When all the shoots at this point, clients are trying to save money, so they want to do photo and video in the same day, especially if you're in the studio. Continuous lighting is going to save you there, because if you have photographer and a videographer, you don't have to change the flash, move it, change everything. Like the reset time is right there in them. So photographer can come and do a couple of photos, and then you can quickly switch to video. Videographer can come with his Zhiyun gimbal and just go around, like I just slipped in there, that go around, do his thing with the e-commerce as well, or fashion. Done. Next look. And especially if you guys ever shot e-commerce, you have 40, 50, 60, 70 looks a day. You can go very fast. So I would say continuous lighting there, 100% is a helpful. And that's it. So that would technically be it. Do you guys have, how are we on time? We're good-ish? Yeah. Do you guys have any questions? Anything that you want to ask me as far as, I mean, that was a good question commercially. It doesn't have to be anything related to the lights. It can be for photography, for videography, for getting clients, how to do stuff. Now is the time. We're going to wait 15 seconds.
These are only continuous, right?
These are only continuous, yeah. Zhiyun, they don't make flash. I would say if you want flash, go to either Godox or Profoto. I used to do Godox. It was confusing me a lot with the buttons. So if you're that guy, as I was, Profoto is your best bet, because it is so simple and easy to use them. You can use, I think, how many? Up to 8 lights with the receiver Profoto? More? You can use a lot. I mean, yeah. Yes. So yeah, this is all continuous, which again, it is a lifesaver if you, for example, rent a peer space or Airbnb and you want to do a lifestyle shoot, but you want to make it indoor, which we did, I think in one of these. I mean, the one that you guys saw at the beginning, that was all peer space. That was shot in Austin, Texas. And we just used, there we go, this one. Yeah, this is continuous outdoor. We were on this, I think Austin, Broadway Street. This was in peer space, all continuous. It always helps with continuous lighting. Again, you can even put in these 2 lamps on the side. They have this little tiny light called, I think, M20 or so. So it's like 20, 30 watts, very small, with the magnetic thing that you can attach it. So, the what?
Vibrate?
Yeah, it is. Yep, that's it. So it's a great little light. You can connect it to your phone. You can put them in these 2 lamps. You can use it as practical. And it's continuous, which is the whole topic today. Okay, any other questions? Yeah.
So stops of lights.
Yes, sir.
Well, how many stops of light would that be compared to like a regular strobe?
Repeat it.
So how many stops of light would this compare to the strobe? Honestly, I do not know that.
I was wondering how you judge the light. Is it?
Oh, I judge it by my eye. Honestly, I even do the strobe like that. Like when I'm on a shoot, I don't do like, okay, put the 7 and then let's do that. I would just eye it out. Free judgment. It's the same with the continuous. It's the same with the strobe. So that's why I like it, because you don't have to test it that much. When you do have strobes, you have to test, see if it's good test. Especially if you're doing events, and you change the environment all the time. You're indoor, outdoor. There's outside lights influencing that. With continuous light, you don't have that issue, because you can just literally set it up. Sure, yeah. Let me do a live. So as you see on the screen there, that is it. That literally what you see is what you get. So you don't have to, okay, give me a power, yell to the assistant or something. You can just see it if it's good. If it's not, set it up. It has a little shadow. Go up. Lift chin a little bit more. Yeah, so I would say there's a usage for both. You can do, of course, strobes. You can do continuous. Strobes are always good if you need to like run and gun and you don't have manpower to bring all this with you. But Again, I prefer continuous because it was my videography background, and I sometimes do both by myself, so it's much easier than to bring a strobe with me.
If you do want to sign up, do it.
No, I'm good. I still want to hear from everybody. But yeah, tell me if there's any other. Yeah, go for it.
So I'm a student of photography right now.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard.
So I feel I struggle like to pose someone.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think really some people just like know what to do.
So I mean, if you get a profession, once you start working longer, you would see the difference between a person and a model. I would say always hire a model if you have a budget and if you can, because they will save so much time with the client, with the product, with the clothing, with everything. As far as the posing, that took me a long time to learn because some people just came naturally. For me, it wasn't. And you're already ahead of me because I learned everything on YouTube and on the streets of New York. So I'm lucky with her that I don't have to tell her how to pose. I would say that was at least my approach is every time you work with a new person, with a model, first make her feel comfortable. You're a female, so you already have that advantage. So they will feel comfortable, they will open to you. Second, see how they move. Don't tell them to do any awkward poses that they don't want to. If it's a real model, she will know how to do that awkward pose and she will already do it and nail it. But if it's not, it will look like she's yeah. So I would say see how they move, see what they're comfortable with. It's always good to give a model a product to hold, any type of prop that she can pose with, because if she doesn't have anything, it's gone, especially if she doesn't know how to do it. So for example, if she's a regular girl wants to do a headshot or something, or if you're doing couples, like couples are the worst. Like that's the one thing that I would never do, weddings and couples. It is so awkward to tell them, like, pretend that you're in love or something. So awkward. I know, like, kiss her. Like, it's just so weird, right? Or the baby shoots. Those are the worst. Like, when you dress them like little baby Jesus, I'm like, why? But I would say, like, for example, if she doesn't have a hat right now, and if you want to pose her, tell her to put the hand in the pocket, to hold the jacket, so play with the product. I don't know what type of photography you're gonna do in the studio, but there's always something on the model. Okay, so for everybody who's live streamed, thank you guys for watching. Thank you everybody for attending this, and hope you guys learned something new.
Platforms, clap.